Welcome to this week's blog. It's been a busy week for the office holder team going round the country doing AGMs. This is your opportunity to engage directly with the office holders and raise the issues that matter to you. It's been fantastic to see so many people attending those events. We've also been at the Midlands Machinery Show where we had the Environment Conference, some really good speakers talking about how we use data within the arable farming sector. David's met with Emma Reynolds over in Brussels, and I've got a meeting with Emma Reynolds as well to discuss how we move forwards with dynamic alignment and what it will mean with full integration, what the challenges would be as we move forwards. But we've also continued to raise the issues around inheritance tax. We've published a letter with over 100 signatories, with a lot of the major retailers and the representative bodies all signing the letter to the Prime Minister, asking them for one final time to rethink the proposals to inheritance tax and the damage that it can have. I'd now like to hand over to Rachel.
I want to talk to you about all things water. It's a huge policy area and it's a huge amount going on within it. First of all, I want to talk about drought. I don't think it will surprise anybody after such a dry summer, hot summer and a dry autumn that the EA Drought Prospects report came out suggesting that we could stay in drought throughout winter right through to spring 2026. This sends alarm bells going. We have to be in a place where we can collect water through the winter months to store for later on, if we can't rely on that rain being there during spring. So what we've asked for is flexibility with our licences. We've asked for an extension of those winter licences. And we've also asked for improved access for when those rivers are at peak flow, so we can abstract the water there and then and store it for later, and then share it amongst different users of that water. This week I wrote to Minister Hardy, actually reiterating these asks, explaining the bigger picture and what's going on. Copied into that letter was Alan Lovell, Chair of the Environment Agency, and Minister Eagle, who took a keen interest in this when she spoke with Tom last week. I think we then need to move on to flooding. It's a crazy situation. Some are in drought with flood warnings in place. Some of you were underwater last weekend. Horrendous so early on in the season. And some are still reeling from being underwater last year. I know that the Environment Agency is not always maintaining what it should be doing, but I also know that they are underfunded and therefore in deficit. But we are hearing of areas of the country where a planned withdrawal from maintenance has been put into effect. This really concerns us. We need time to adjust to this. How do we answer this call to actually pick up the maintenance ourselves, if that is what is expected? Who's going to pay for it? Who's going to deliver it? And who's going to take the liability for it? I have raised this many times at the Flood Resilience Task Force Roundtable. I've also raised it with senior Environment Agency officials. And at the beginning of December, working alongside ADA and the CLA, we'll be taking our joint concerns to senior members of the Defra team and Environment Agency team. We have to have a plan in place. You can't just stop doing something and not replace it with something else. And then I move on to water quality. This is an unbelievably emotive subject. The NFU has been there from day one, talking about what a regulatory reform does mean and what landowners, land managers, their part in it can be. We are the people in the room that talk about what this means on the ground. How is it deliverable? There is no point having policy or regulation in place that nobody can conform to. We want a simplified scheme. We want evidence-based scheme. We want to ensure that we've got the capital in place so that we can actually improve what we've got on farm within when it comes to infrastructure and therefore comply. And on top of that, we're actually doing a member engagement programme, starting at a national level with regional boards, national commodity boards, and filtering that out to our wider membership. So look out for something in the new year. And you may have already seen things in writing on this in the Farmer and Grower. It's important that you, as the farmer on the ground now, is fully understanding of the regulations that are in place now, so that if that Environment Agency inspector knocks on your door, you are well prepared for them.
A reminder to all our members who've had an offer of a 1-year rollover of Countryside Stewardship mid-tier from the RPA, you only have until the 27th of November to reply. So please check your inbox, have a look. If you want to take up the offer, get in touch with the RPA as soon as possible.
Thank you very much for listening to this week's vlog. We look forward to updating you after the budget next week.